What's up, guys? It is Frankie here. It is week 10 of the 2021 NFL season. It's time to make some predictions. We're going to pick every game except for the Bears and Steelers games because those two teams haven't played yet. Other than that, here are the games for week 10 in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. The Ravens are 7.5-point favorites. These two teams will face off on Thursday Night Football. Baltimore, for some reason, they are the epitome of the meme. I'm not going to lie, they had us in the first half. This team always starts slow. They never are really able to get going. In the first quarter of the season, they've only scored a total of 24 points. They've reached the end zone only once in the past 6 games in the first quarter. They just always start off rough, but then they get it going. Lamar turns it on. He did that yesterday against Minnesota. Threw 3 touchdown passes, rushed for over 100 yards. First quarterback this season to win 3 games in which he trailed by double digits, and that is important for Lamar, considering entering the year he was 0-6 when trailing by double digits, including the playoffs. And that is the one thing about Lamar that has been troubling in his legacy, is that he never is able to excel in the postseason for whatever reason. He did win a game last year, but they're never able to play complete games, and so that's important. That's important for Lamar in the postseason if he is not out of the game by the time, if it's the fourth quarter and they're not out of it, that's important that they don't get blown out, at least for him. Miami, whatever. Without Tua, they were able to pull off a win against the most dysfunctional team in the NFL. I don't know if Tua's going to be back for this game. I really don't think it matters. I think Lamar and company and Harbaugh will destroy Miami here, even though Baltimore's on the road. I think they'll dominate here in this game. I think Lamar really gets it to he destroys them with his arms and his legs. I think they win this game by at least 14. I think the Ravens will shut down whoever Miami's quarterback is. I have the Ravens winning this one pretty easily. Give me the Ravens minus 7.5. The Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 9-point favorites. Atlanta is a team that, no matter what, they're going to make their games interesting. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. All their games will be interesting. They're going to come down to the wire. Happened again yesterday. They really let New Orleans get back in there, even though they had a 3-possession lead. They let them get back in there, but they did do a nice job late in the game. Cordell Patterson, Ryan connected with them for 64 yards. Young-Hoo Q with the game-winning field goal. So good job there by Atlanta, even though this is not a very good team. But impressive victory, I guess, against New Orleans' third stringer, whoever the heck they got there. New Orleans' second stringer, whatever. Then you have Dallas. I'm not ready to say this team is dead. No way, after one loss. But that was a terrible loss. That was a really, really bad loss. Just something. Dak did not look good. Even though he looked better in the fourth quarter, there was just something off about the Cowboys here. He was not very accurate. Before their first scoring drive, they converted only once on third down. They failed on 3 fourth down tries. Again, I don't think this is their run defense is pretty bad. At least yesterday. I'm sorry, they have like the 6th best run defense in the league, but yesterday they were really, really anemic. They let Devontae Williams and Melvin Gordon run all over them there. So I'm not ready to give up on Dallas. That was a bad loss. It was really, really bad, and it made you concerned about them. But I don't think there's anything. If they lose to Atlanta, then you have concern. But they're here at home again. Atlanta's probably worse than Denver, and I think Dallas is going to come back here. Hopefully Dak's a little bit healthier. He's a little bit more, the calf's better off. I think Dallas gets it going here in this game. I was also wondering yesterday why they didn't put Cooper Rush in the game. Like at one point, when Dak's just doing nothing, at one point, let's try Cooper Rush. But I guess that would have been like quarterback controversy, so maybe that wouldn't have been a good idea. And you don't want to cause another media firestorm, especially after a loss like that. So I have Dallas winning this game. I have them bouncing back. I have them being able to show their greatness here. Give me the Cowboys minus 9. The New Orleans Saints and the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are 3-point favorites. Tough loss for New Orleans. They rallied back from 18 down over 10 minutes, and then they let Cordell Patterson have a 64-yard pass. It's just brutal here. They're 5-3. They're trying to hang in there. Nice play by Trevor Siemian at the end of the game. The offense was bad for 3 quarters, but they were able to find something here. Siemian found something late, but a lot of penalties, a sack fumble, too many drop passes, and we'll see what happens here with New Orleans. You already have Jameis and Michael Thomas out for the year. You're wondering, are they going to try to put in Taysom Hill this week? I wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, considering it wouldn't be the worst thing having a quarterback duel between Siemian and Taysom Hill. Are they going to sign OBJ? There's been some talk about that. So we'll see how New Orleans does it. But I just think there's too many injuries for this team that that they're able to bounce back here. I just think it's too rough for them. As for the Titans, man, that was a big win yesterday. That was huge. because after Derrick Henry got hurt, I was like, all right, this is it. It's over. The Tennessee's not coming back. And their defense really stepped up in this game. I mean, just 11 turnovers over the last 6 games, 6 straight games with an interception. The pick 6 yesterday. The pass rush has been awesome. 13 sacks over the last 6 games. You wonder about the offense, and that is the one concern: is can the offense keep it going? They did yesterday against the Rams, which was important. They scored touchdowns on all 3 of its red zone visits. Can they keep it up? Don't know. At least I think for this game, I think they'll be able to keep it up because Tennessee is going up against a much better team. New Orleans is struggling here with all these injuries, losing their top players, have all these quarterback issues. They're at home. I think Tennessee should win this game. New Orleans might make a fight of it just because this might be a game where Ryan Tannehill just disappears for some reason. But I think in this game, Tennessee will. I'm thinking it's more likely that Tennessee will win this game. I think Tennessee wins it, maybe by 7 to 10 points. I think Tennessee has got this game under control. Give me the Titans, -3. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. Maybe the ugliest win of the year for Jacksonville. Even though they were missing Cam Robinson, they were missing James Robinson, and they just beat the best team in the AFC, who now I have major concerns about the Bills. But, I mean, the Jaguars had 4 drops, 1 in the end zone. The kicker missed 3 field goals, 2 avoided by penalties. And somehow they won that game because Buffalo decided to not show up. And how about Josh Allen getting a sack, a fumble, and a pick off of Josh Allen? That was wild. Look, Jaguars still aren't very good though. Trevor Lawrence ankle injury. We hope he bounces back. But we'll see if this leads to any sort of momentum heading into next year. That win might keep Urban Meyer around for another year. That was such a big win there. As for Indianapolis, look, the Jets had a second stringer and then eventually a third stringer out there, but they did what they needed to do against the Jets. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is awesome. He's becoming one of the best running backs in the league. He's right there with Derrick Henry if Derrick Henry's healthy. 172 rushing yards, 260 yards total. But the problem with the Colts is they have yet to beat a team with a winning record this year. And they're going to have some chances coming up. They got Buffalo, they got Tampa in 2 of their next 3 games. But first they got Jacksonville. And I am expecting an easy win here. I don't think Jacksonville's going to be able to pull that off again. Especially, I mean, that was a gimme for Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville didn't even need to score a touchdown to win this game. So I think in this game, Indianapolis will deliver. I think we can see a great performance from Jonathan Taylor. I also don't think that Jacksonville's offense is going to be electric, which is fine because Indianapolis' defense just could not do anything there in that game against the Jets. I mean, they let a 35-year-old third stringer, just run all over them late in that game. So yeah, I'm still not convinced about Indianapolis, but I do think in this game they'll win it. It's Jacksonville, so they should win it. Give me the Colts -10.5. The Cleveland Browns and New England Patriots. The Patriots are 1-point favorites, and this was interesting because heading into this earlier this morning, the Patriots were 2.5-point favorites. The line has gone down. People are really starting to buy Cleveland here. That was a monster win. All the drama that's been surrounding them with OBJ, whether he wanted out, whether the Browns forced him out, however that was, they took all those distractions, put it behind them, and delivered maybe their best performance of the year. Baker looked great. Maybe OBJ was just not a good fit on that Browns team. Maybe that's the thing. He just was not a good fit. Baker looked awesome, especially in the third quarter when he had a perfect passer rating. The first team since 2012 with 3 touchdown plays of 60 yards or more. Finally, it looked like maybe since we don't, and this is not a question about OBJ's talent. It's just maybe for some reason he just didn't fit in there. Okay, now we don't have to worry about getting him passes. I mean, they weren't anyway. Now we can just do our own thing. And remember last year when Beckham went down, Cleveland turned it around. And that might happen here again. So, but they're going to have to do it against a New England team that has been much better than I thought. The defense has been awesome. The defense has really delivered here. They got to Sam Darnold, who just killed. It really silenced McCaffrey in his return. Maybe he's hurt, but Darnold couldn't really do anything in this game. Are they going to go after OBJ here? The Call Harry has a knee injury. Are they going to go after OBJ? So there's some things to wonder about here with New England. 3 straight wins, which is nice. I am going to roll with Cleveland here in this game. I just think Cleveland's riding such a high. I think the offense is going to be a little bit more explosive here. And I'm not ready to say Mac Jones should be out of the league, but I have my concerns about Mac Jones. I have my legitimate worries. I'm not sure if he's a rookie, but he hasn't shown that awesome rookie year. He's had his moments, but it hasn't been consistent. And we saw that here yesterday. We've seen them all throughout the year, but I think in this game, I think Cleveland's a little bit more ready. I think we'll see an explosive game from Cleveland's offense. I think that'll be enough to win this game. We already see the line going down. I think that will continue here. The Browns might even be fair by the time this week ends. Give me the Browns +1. The Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. The Bills are 13-point favorites. You know what? Every time that I start to think the Bills are the best team in the NFL, they lose. And this was their worst performance of the year, bar none. Like, wow. You got Jacksonville. You play against Jacksonville, and you just you're that awful. I mean, okay, fine. Maybe the problem is the offensive line is bad. I mean, they were without 2 starting linemen. Josh was pressured on 37% of his dropbacks. He went 2 for 9 passing on dropbacks. He threw 2 picks, his first multi-pick game of the year. But they've averaged in the last 2 games 16 points. A legitimate concern here. A legitimate concern for Buffalo. Now, if you're going to fix that problem, it might be better to fix that against the Jets when they're going up against a third stringer. Also, a lot of penalties. Buffalo had 12 penalties yesterday for 118 yards. They have to fix that. So, legitimate concern. I'm not ready to give up on Buffalo yet. They were my Super Bowl pick. But, gosh, every time I'm ready to really fully believe in them, they just have a disappointment like that. And then the Jets, I mean, I'll say this. That was a solid third string performance from Johnson. The Jets are such a weird team. I mean, we know this. But, I mean, the whole game they looked terrible until the late. And they almost covered the spread against Indianapolis. I had no idea how they were going to do that. They're giving up 31 points a game, 408 yards a game, which are 2 worst in the franchise. And that is saying something because this is the Jets. The defense is beyond garbage. We'll have to see what happens here if Zach Wilson. It looks like Mike White is going to be able to go. Zach Wilson, we don't know about. We'll see how it is. But whoever it is, I think Buffalo wins this game. But if you can't beat the Jets, then Buffalo has major concern. Then we need to have a legitimate conversation about how bad Buffalo is. We need to start the conversation about how bad Buffalo is, or where's Buffalo going. But I think in this game, I think we'll see the return of Buffalo. We'll see the return of Josh Allen. Hopefully the offensive line will protect a little bit better. I think, and I mean, it's not like I don't think the Jets are going to pressure Josh Allen that much. I think the Bills win this one easily. Give me the Bills -13. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Washington Football Team. The Buccaneers are 9.5-point favorites. Yesterday was a great day for Tampa Bay, considering the fact that they're one of the best teams in the league, and pretty much all the other great teams in the league, all the other top-tier Super Bowl contenders, they all faltered as well. The Bills faltered, the Rams faltered, the Cowboys faltered. There may have been 1 or 2 that actually hung in there, but a lot of those top-tier teams in the NFL, the Packers without their starting quarterback, Tampa Bay just was able to sit back and just watch everything burn. So they're coming off a bye. I mean, that was... They tried against New Orleans. It was a little bit of disappointment there. I was expecting them to dominate against New Orleans. And they came back in the third, but then Brady had that pick 6. Tampa Bay with a lot of penalties. There's problems there for Tampa here on the penalty side. They got to cut down on that, which is just, it's weird that Bruce Arians would have this kind of problem, or a Tom Brady team of any kind would have this problem. Not ready to give up on them yet, obviously. Especially, I think they'll win the South convincingly now that New Orleans is without their quarterback. So I still faith in Tampa. They still have a great offense. I think that will show over here in this game. Washington has been, I know it's weird to say a disappointment because they lost Fitzpatrick in week 1. I just expected more out of their defense. They lost 4 straight. I mean, they were down 3 offensive line guys, but it's just not great. The kicking has been an issue. Chase Young, it's just, I don't know what happened. But maybe injuries, but I'm really worried about where he is because we thought he was going to be a top-tier player, and he's really a step back here. That was last week. They had a bye. As long as their defense is this bad and as long as their offense continues being consistent, I don't think there's any reason to bet them. I'm rolling with Tampa. Tampa's 9.5-point favorites. I think the offense, Brady, everybody, they'll get it going. They'll get it together. I think they win this one. I think they get back in the right way. And I think they showed they're the best team in the NFL. I think they are the best team in the NFL. I think they'll show that here in this game. Give me the Buccaneers -9.5. The Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are 10-point favorites. Sam Darnold is not the answer. Unless the question is who is getting released next year. He's either going to be a backup or out of the league next year. And I wanted Sam to perform well, but gosh, he's not it. And you bring McCaffrey back, and he's dreadful. 10 interceptions in the last 6 games. It's over. And the Jets won that trade. I don't know how the Jets were able to trade a couple of draft picks away, but goodness gracious, good job. Good job, Jets. I don't know how you did it, but great job at convincing people that Sam Darnold was actually good. Because, wow, he's awful. And we'll have to see, are they going to move to P.J. Walker for the rest of the year? It doesn't matter. Carolina season's over anyway. But it's bad. and he started off so well, but whatever. Arizona, what a good win yesterday. Without Kyler Murray, without Hopkins, without AJ Green, and you still dominate because James Conner has one of the best games of his career. And they lose Chase Edmonds too, and it doesn't matter. They were completely dominant offensively, defensively. They put up 30 points for the 7th time this season. And again, with so many injuries, a great defense here. It has such excellent guys on the defensive side. Vance Joseph is doing a fantastic job with this team. 5 sacks yesterday against San Francisco. Again, another big day for Arizona, considering all the top teams that went down yesterday. They hung in there, and they could have taken a step back with all the injuries, but they hung in there. They survived, and they're showing that they are a legit contender here in the NFL. I feel like for this season, I'm rolling with the Cardinals. 10-point favorites. Carolina looks lost. Sam looks dead. Sam is seeing ghosts over and over and over again. I think in this game, hoping Kyler Murray comes back, and I would expect him to, but I have no idea. I'm not a doctor. I think Arizona dominates in this game. I think they destroy, and they beat Carolina. Give me the Cardinals, -10. The Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. Yeah, that was that was not good for Minnesota yesterday. Had a nice lead early, and then nothing. Yesterday, I mean, you got it going early. You had a nice touchdown from Justin Jefferson. Dalvin Cook was playing well, and then it fell apart, which is not surprising. It's a Kirk Cousins team. The defense wasn't able to stop them in the second half. I mean, they were on the field for 45 minutes by the time overtime came. So I feel like we've seen the best of the Vikings. They're just not that very good, and just seeing that here, and we'll see how they do against the Chargers. Now they go to the West Coast. I think this game's gonna be a problem for Minnesota. Chargers. They were one of my locks yesterday, and thank goodness they were able to pull that off because it was not a good day yesterday if you were betting favorites like I do. I mean, another game where where Dustin Hopkins came through. Good job there by by this team by the Chargers here in this game. Herbert, 32 for 38, 356 yards, 2 touchdowns. There was a return to form for him, and it was just a good job there. The secondary is a problem, but I feel like the Chargers still have their issues, but I feel like I think they can beat the Vikings at home. I think the Chargers can do it. I think Herbert can have another solid game, and the Chargers have been very consistent this year. But I think in this game, I think they will deliver. I think they'll show up, and I'm just not really seeing it right now for Minnesota. I'm liking the Chargers here. Give me the Chargers -2.5. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 2.5-point favorites. Eagles, that was a tough loss yesterday against the Chargers. Their defense is beyond redeemable. I feel like at this point. Justin Herbert yesterday was the 5th quarterback this season to complete 80% or more of his passes against Philadelphia. And just to put that in perspective, in the last 70 years, that had only happened to the Eagles 6 times. 6 times total in 70 years, and that has now happened 5 times in the last 8-9 games. It's a problem. It is a real problem here for the Eagles, is that their defense continues to be bad. They get no pressure at all. They're running the ball effectively. Now, maybe it's just that the 2 last teams that they played were bad run defenses, but they're doing well on the rushing side. 39 carries yesterday, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's probably what they need to do here. And they have an easy closing schedule, so maybe Philadelphia can bounce back here, but we'll see how it is. I think Denver yesterday, that was a very, very impressive victory. And I know that's saying the obvious, but goodness gracious, to go into Dallas and to win, to go into Dallas like that, who's been just red hot, and to win that game convincingly after you just traded Von Miller away. I mean, that was absolutely stunning. And they had so many injuries there. You know, the Glasnow got hurt. The tight end, I'm not even going to bother to pronounce his name. It's too long. And to still win that game, to still be that dominant on the offensive side, and the defense was really did a fantastic job against Dallas. So I do wonder here going forward, can they protect Teddy Bridgewater? They got 2 offensive linemen injured now. So, yeah, and 2 straight wins, nice. But now they got to keep it going here, and I think they will here against Philadelphia. I think they'll have another good performance here. They're at home. I think they'll carve up Philadelphia's defense the way other teams have, and I just think in this game I have concerns about the offensive line, but I think they'll be able to overcome that. I think Denver wins this one by about 5 or 6, maybe 7. And we'll see if Philadelphia can keep it close here in this game, but I think Denver wins this one. Give me the Broncos -2.5. The Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 4.5-point favorites. Seattle coming off a bye. In the last game, they dominated Jacksonville, which is what you should have done. Although Jacksonville won yesterday, so who knows what's going on with them. But an unbelievable Geno Smith performance. I mean, he completed his first 14 attempts, which was just staggering. They looked like the old Seahawks there. That was an impressive victory without Russell Wilson. I don't know when he's going to be back. I mean, I hope that he'll be able to play here against Green Bay. I have not heard any stories. Maybe it already has, and I've just missed it. Hopefully he'll be able to play here against Green Bay. I don't think it matters anyway. Well, it does if Aaron Rodgers isn't playing. It has been so yeah, great victory against Seattle, but who knows what Geno Smith can do next week, because I saw good Geno Smith with the Jets, and it didn't last very long. What a week for Green Bay. Just bizarre with all the Aaron Rodgers stuff, and then Jordan Love not playing well at all. I mean, it's one game, so I don't want to sit there and go crazy. I just hope that's not I hope that's not the best of Jordan Love, because if that's the best of Jordan Love, then Green Bay made a horrible mistake drafting him, and chasing Aaron Rodgers away. But yeah, tough loss there. We hope that Rodgers can come back, but at this point, I have no idea. I mean, you don't know. They're probably not going to suspend Rodgers. But let's just assume they don't, just for this argument. I think Green Bay wins the game anyway. It might take Wilson a little time to get ready again. And even though I think Seattle still has their problems here, I think Green Bay at home, I think Rodgers, I think the fans will still be supporting him here. And I just think Green Bay controls it here in this game. They'll bounce back. Rodgers, I think, will be ready. At least we hope so. And we'll see how it goes there. But now, if Jordan Love's playing, I'll take Seattle. But I'm going to assume Rodgers comes back. And if Rodgers comes back, I think Green Bay wins this one. I think the offense dominates. Give me the Packers -4.5. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites. The Chiefs, man. Good win, I guess, yesterday. But, gosh, they just have so many issues. They're going up against a backup quarterback who can't do anything right. Jordan Love, who almost got shut out. It took him till late in the game to not get shut out. He would have been the first quarterback since Johnny Manziel to not get shut out. He would have been the first quarterback since Johnny Manziel to get shut out in his opening game as a starter. And it's just, the offense should have done more. They only scored 13, and forget the defense, even though they did a nice job taking on Jordan Love. But it's Jordan Love, so I don't know if you can expect the same thing against Derek Carr and Dak Prescott in your next two games. They have some momentum here. They've won 2 in a row, but I'm still so concerned about this team. And I don't think they covered the spread yesterday, which is not a surprise, if that's the case. I'm going with the Raiders here. I've taken the Raiders. Again, you guys know I don't pick the Chiefs. I've just learned I'm not picking the Chiefs to cover the spread. I'm just not doing it at all. The Raiders yesterday, they've had a real tough week. I mean, tough season. The Gruden stuff, and then the Henry Ruggs stuff. And I feel like the team was just a little bit, they just had a crazy week there. They were not able to recover. Pair of interceptions for Carr, lost a fumble late in the game. And look, I don't think the Raiders are going to make the playoffs. I just think it's just not looking good for them. I think they will cover in this game, though. I do think they cover the spread here. I'm not sure if they win. Maybe they lose by 2 or 1, which is crazy to think that I'm betting on the Raiders losing by 2 or 1. It's just, these are two weird teams in two weird spots. And don't bet this game. This is my don't bet game of the week. Do not touch it. You have a Raiders team that is just emotionally drained, and you have a Chiefs team that can't do anything right. So I think the Raiders cover here in this game. They're at home. I think they'll cover. Whether or not Kansas City wins is another story. But I have the Raiders at least covering, making it interesting. That's a Sunday night game, and it's going to be a weird Sunday night game. Give me the Raiders +2.5. The Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. The Rams are 4-point favorites. Tough yesterday. That was one of the worst performances we've seen from the Rams this year. Offensive line got beat around. Stafford couldn't do much. Threw interceptions on back-to-back passes. It's just a real concern there. I mean, when you're at home, you're taking on a Tennessee team that is really struggling here, that just lost their best player. And to look like that, you have to have concerns about the offensive line. I'm still going to pick the Rams to win this game, but in terms of them being Super Bowl contenders, you have to have some concerns here that hopefully they can bounce back. San Francisco, they had a chance here. Like the Arizona was rolling out. Like it wasn't close to the replacements, but it was almost. I mean, they were, without Murray, there were so many guys not able to get it done, and just nothing here in this game. The defense, another game where they can't get a turnover. They missed a lot of tackles. Offense had a couple costly turnovers in the first half, and it's just a bad year for San Francisco. And I was expecting them to be great this year, and they've just completely disappointed. Again, against a bad Arizona team, James Conner just roll all over them. It's just been bad. It's been a bad season for San Francisco, and it's crazy. I think this team was in the Super Bowl not too long ago. With Jimmy Garoppolo, that's just bizarre. Gotta go with the Rams here. I think the Rams are a better team. They have to bounce back. I can't imagine they're going to look this bad. I think we'll see a resurgence here from Stafford. We'll see a resurgence from the receivers. The defense should be able to get to San Francisco, although who knows with them at this point. And maybe San Francisco does something great, but probably not. I'm liking the Rams here in this game. It's 4 points. Why not? Give me the Rams -4. That's it for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to this channel and you like to see, make sure you subscribe down below. I'll be back later in the week to break down the Lions-Steelers game and the Bears-Bengals game, well, some other NFL videos this week. NBA videos also coming this year. And we have 1 or 2 more baseball videos as we head into the offseason here. So I'll see you guys then. Take care, and God bless.